Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to those who follow the work of this team daily, and to those who join us now. Today we want to talk about God's plan for the American continent. The inhabitants of the Americas live in a privileged continent thanks to Spain and its development. The spiritual was carefully operated by divine providence, but we have not yet fully understood it, because we have succumbed to the narratives of the Masons and Protestants, to the black legend they created, and to populist rulers with little vision of the future, but the Catholic germ is in the people. Here we want to talk about what was God's plan to evangelize and preserve the Americas, and that today it is the most Catholic continent, which in turn could indicate to us that the Americas have an important role reserved in the re-evangelization of the world. Before, we want to remind you to subscribe to this channel by activating the bell and to our newsletter, and on the screen you will see how to collaborate with our mission on Patreon and also on YouTube, so that this Catholic team of the Americas can continue financing its research that you will not find elsewhere. The truth is that the history of the last 20 centuries shows that the American continent has been preserved while Europe and the East suffered the ravages of wars and plagues. America remained protected, and today is far from the scene where the disastrous events of the tribulation of the end of times are taking place. Is not here the hand of divine providence? What is called the discovery of America and its evangelization by Spain is prophesied by Isaiah in the Old Testament about 2,000 years before the discovery of all of America by Columbus. Yes, it is in the Bible, and Spain is mentioned, and nothing less than said in the book of Isaiah that he is the prophet of our Lord Jesus Christ. He is the one who prophesies the coming of Jesus Christ and the message of universal salvation that he will bring. Prophesies that Jesus Christ would be born in Bethlehem, that he would be born of a virgin, that he would be crucified, etc. And in Isaiah 60 verses 8 to 9, three things are prophesied. First, the ships of Tarshish are mentioned. Second, that those ships of Tarshish will bring the sons of Yahweh from afar. And third, they will come with their silver and gold. The ships of Tarshish refers to the ships of Spain. At that time, Spain did not exist, but Tarsus or Tartessos, which was a trading town and manufacturer of bronze products that flourished mostly in the area today Spanish Jaén in the Guadalquivir Valley, including Cadiz and Huelva 5 centuries before Christ. Tarsus is mentioned in several parts of the Bible. For example, when Jonah is swallowed by the whale, he was escaping from our Lord because he had sent him to evangelize to a place where he did not want to go, and then to Tarshish because Tarshish was the opposite corner of the Mediterranean. On the other side of the known world from where the people of Israel lived, when Isaiah says that the ships of Tarshish or Spanish will bring the sons of Yahweh from far away, he is referring that they will take them to God to evangelize them, and also mentions that these Spanish ships will bring riches such as silver and gold. What happened commercially, so that Yahweh tells Isaiah that the two engines of the development of the New World that the Spanish will do will be by one side the evangelization, and on the other hand the enrichment and fortune of the colonists. It may be that other explorers had arrived in America before, but what is called the process of discovery of America by Christopher Columbus was a clear plan of God executed at the precise moment, choosing people from its birth to comply with it, and acquiescing could have happened at another time, but Spain might not have been able to respond as it should have, because it had the challenge of reconquering part of its territory, occupied by the Muslim invasion, and some time later perhaps that would have been lost. Spain was driven to bring the best from Europe because the scourge of Protestant heresy would later appear, creating confusion throughout Europe. Spain had endured 700 years of Islamic invasion, which had served to galvanize Catholicism within the Spanish population and the crown. The decision of the crown, led by Isabel la Católica, was that the basis of colonization should be evangelization, that America should be part of Spain, and that all its inhabitants would be subjects of Spain. This led to all the expeditions being made up of groups of friars and missionaries. The world situation at that time also aided the project. Islamists had invaded Europe and had cut the routes to India and China, which led European explorers to search for an alternative route for commercial purposes. God's plan was also that a man eager to spread Catholicism was at the forefront of the first colonization of what would become the most Catholic continent in the world 600 years later. Columbus was a man eager to spread Christianity and believed he had a role in it due to providence. Columbus was a commercial navigator whose name was also providentially Cristoforo, which means bearer of Christ. He was a devout Catholic. He observed the fasts of the Church. He faithfully confessed and took communion. He often read the canonical offices as a member of the Franciscan order, and he hated blasphemy, profane language, and swearing. He was also a student of the Bible, especially of the Prophecies, and he felt chosen by God's plan for a great mission. Columbus felt part of the Prophecies. He would say in his book of Prophecies that it was the Lord who put in his mind the fact that it would be possible to sail from there to the Indies, and he could feel his hand on him. One of Columbus's convictions was that his enterprise was not a scientific, national, or economic act, but the fulfillment of the prophecies of Isaiah. What did the Spanish find in America? They found that certainly the natives did not live in an earthly paradise, as some would have us believe for political purposes. The dominant tribes in the different regions of the continent enslaved the others, demanding offerings that included material wealth, goods of the earth, and human lives. This led to the rapid Spanish conquest because the Spanish did not use an army of occupation for colonization, but rather they used politics and diplomacy to unite the subjugated tribes and, together with them, overthrow the oppressive tribes. After evicting the indigenous oppressors, Spain quickly began to build hospitals and schools to improve the lives of the new subjects and temples to promote faith. Along with this, they encouraged miscegenation, things that the Protestants did not do because their theology considered that the natives had a negative predestination. The truth is that today the Americas are the most Catholic continent, and that has been because of divine design and will have consequences for the future. So far, what we wanted to say about the Americas today being the most Catholic continent and being preserved from the tribulations that Europe has suffered, and is suffering, is a divine plan that is already present in the Bible, so much so that it probably has some role of special importance assigned to it for the re-evangelization of the world, which will be confirmed in the future. Now, if you liked everything that we told and analyzed, mark that you like this video and please share it with your friends and leave us your comment about it. What do you think about the subject? And I would like to ask you if you think that in the future the Americas will play an important role in the revival of the world, and what that could be in your opinion.